Hi, it's a great day in Orange County, California. I'm at our Trabuco Creek Bridge along Trabuco Canyon Road at the top of O'Neill Regional Park. And this bridge was originally built in 1980 by the County Highway Agency, and it can be found in the county records as structure 55C0008. But before this bridge was built, it was simply a low creek dip crossing, about 120 feet, and to get across you drove down into the creek along some gravel and some rocks and came up at this point. And in 1980 it was frequented by only about 3,000 vehicles a day, including about 30 trucks. And the only people that really used this crossing were local residents getting up to Trabuco Creek Road, and the residents or visitors headed out to Coto de Caza for recreation activities like horseback riding, hunting, or playing around at tennis at the Vic Braden Tennis College. This is Trabuco Creek, and it's called an arroyo. An arroyo is a seasonal creek, and at least 10 months of the year it's completely dry, but occasionally when it rains, during the other 2 months, you get this sort of creek coming down. Now the creek, it carries along with it a lot of trees, mud, other debris that tend to flow over this area, and they cause this road to close all the time. So let's talk about Trabuco Creek here. It starts this 25-mile journey up here in the top of the Santa Ana Mountains, about 4,300 feet above sea level, flows down steep and moderate hillsides, heads down our canyon here, flows underneath our bridge, out to the wider alluvial floodplain of O'Neill Regional Park, and then it finally meanders down to San Juan Creek, where it eventually opens out to the Pacific Ocean. So let's take a closer look at our bridge here. It's about 120 feet long and 24 feet wide. There's no shoulders, so it gets pretty tight when cars cross over. It has some structural aging, cracks, exposed rebar. It's still considered safe, but it's not really a long-term solution. So underneath the bridge, it has these support openings. These are called boxes. What happens when it rains, a lot of debris and trees, they get lodged in these boxes. Then more debris gets trapped, then mud piles up, and eventually the creek overflows over the bridge. So locals, they might remember back in December of 2010, we had some big rain events, overflowed the bridge, and it ripped out the guardrails. There's a ton of work to get it all cleaned up and repaired. And then in December of 2018, following the Holy Jim fires up in our canyon, we had even a larger event which completely overflowed the bridge, ripped out the new guardrails, and left even more debris and more cleanup. So the guardrails, they've been replaced with these concrete barriers or dividers, and they're pretty ugly. All right, so where does that leave us today? So the Orange County Public Works, they're looking at a $10 million project to replace this bridge. They started planning around 2018, and they have plans to construct a new bridge around 2022 or 2023. And they're looking at 3 different options. So option 1 is to go back to a low water dip crossing. It's pretty inexpensive, but I'm not really sure it solves the problem because this will flood out every year anyway. So option number 2 is replacing this same bridge with new technology. It'd be 120 feet long, but it would also add about 4 feet of shoulder width on both sides to add some more cushion for drivers or bike riders or people, you know, riding a horse. Option number 3, this would elevate the bridge a few feet higher, double the length of the bridge, so it'd end up to be 240 feet long and to be 40 feet wide with 4-foot shoulders on both sides. So option number 3 is obviously the safest, has the least amount of maintenance, but of course it's also the most expensive. It'll take longer to build. So where are we now? Well, the Public Works, they've hosted a meeting back in June of 2020, and I haven't really heard anything since. I think it's been delayed because of COVID, but the final decision on the bridge will be at the mercy of the overall budget, environmental impact studies, and regulatory permitting. And you can find out more yourself by going to www.ocpublicworks.com/Trabuco Creek Bridge Project. All right, so that's the story of our Trabuco Creek Bridge down in Orange County. Hope you liked the video. Thanks, bye.